Hello, and welcome back. My name is Jack Blade, and today we're playing Satisfactory. This is episode 4 of the Ultimate Let's Play. Thank you so much if you've watched episode 1 and 2. I really appreciate your support and your engagement and everything. And welcome here if you're new. And you should probably go and watch episode 1, 2, and 3 to know what we've done and why this place looks like this. And yeah, as you can see, I have started riding the moth. Really fun. Today we are going to really get the central processing of the materials and stuff up and running in the central building. The thing is, it's going to take it's going to take a lot of time because I need to finish off a lot of these roads. And I need to really get them to where the resources are. And I need to do a lot of like load balancing and priority systems for the belts underneath to pull them into the stuff here. And I've also worked out a proper calculation for what I need in the city and everything. It's on the Discord in the pinned post in Sat Chat. There is a link to a Google Drive where you can find all the blueprints, the save files from the end of every episode. You can find, all that stuff. So please do head over and check that out. And what I will do is just basically join in here, and we will get going with today's episode. Love you guys. And thank you for all the support, as I said before. There we go. Let's get this place started. Oh yeah, I need to fix my Lumen settings as well. I'll show you that in a second. So as you can see, everything here is pretty dark. And that's because they have done something in Lumen in the game that turns down the light emission for stuff. So what I do is I open the console by pressing the tilde key. And I put in this code. It says r.ao global distance field, or FE. Is that right? I need to check that that's right. There we go. Let's see. There. The R. .ao global distance field min mesh SDF radius, and put in a space, and I put that at 1.1 for me. Like if you want to really like turn it up to like be super high, you can do that, but like be careful, Lumen is not optimized in this game and it might blow up your computer. So now I've changed that, and if I leave so that it stops rendering those lights, and then I go back down, as you can see, the light has changed a little bit. If I go down here, now it's actually light down here compared to before, which was the point. And this is essentially... Oh, there's no lights down here yet. I went down too far. I went too far. I went into the darkness. I don't know how to get back out. Okay, we have the light set properly now. And this is something, until they fix settings for this, which apparently they are like working on. It says Snut was also corrected by someone from the team in the live stream. When he was asked a question about it. But they are working on some kind of settings and stuff for this, apparently. So we will be able to change this on a more permanent setting, but otherwise you need to change this every time you load up the save, okay? Which sucks, because I basically do this for my saves, where I have all of my saves basically lined up like this. And they are scenes. So now you also got a little bit of spoilers for what I'm gonna do this episode. Well, with that said, let's get into the episode. before that, I really want to, or we're gonna get into the episode, but I first want to shout out one of our first member on the YouTube channel. And let's go. Turns out we're shouting out more than one person. Let's see. We have Dammit Carl, who is the first ever member on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support, Carl, and we love having you here. And you also ordered a extra cup for me for a Fix-It cup. That's awesome, and it's gonna be so awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. And let's see. I put in there. Yeah, I'm still a dum-dum. Where do we have? This one is super important as well, as you can see. Yeah, remember that one. And then we have a fifth in the cave. I hate naming things. There we go. Eric M1777, the first ever Patreon. Welcome to the channel, and love having you here. This is insane. This breaks my brain. Like, I don't see what I'm doing that people would love to support this way, but I love you guys for it, and thank you so much for being here. Now, I have renamed the doggos, but I have also done something else. Let's head on over and check that out. Here we go, and now this place, the real purpose has been revealed. We used to call it the Slug Sanctuary because there's a Slug Sanctuary here in the middle. But in reality, this is what I will call the Hall of Legends. The legends who are going above and beyond to support the channel, you will all get your sign put up here. I probably will like tweak text colors and stuff like that. I'm not really happy with it. But either way, you should get shoutouts, you should get recognition, because you will ultimately be the thing that drives this channel forward and helps like with its direction and everything. And you have no idea. Like, I saw like this and I literally was about to start crying. I was so happy. You don't understand how much this means to me. And I just hope that we will be joined with signs all the way around by the end of the series. And aside from that, we're going for 1,000 subscribers, baby. We're going there. And if you want to help, all you have to do is push that subscribe button, as RCE would say, and hit the bell so you get notified when when new videos come out. And I will do my absolute best to try and be entertaining. And after this video goes live, I'm going live. I'm streaming for 4 hours today with it's a 4-hour collection stream. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna see what we can find out there. We're gonna look for summer sloops, we're gonna look for Mercer spheres, and we're gonna look for power slugs. We're gonna see if we can get to 100 summer sloops in 4 hours. I'm probably not gonna, but it's a challenge and I really wanna try. So come join the stream and we'll see if we can find them. So let's actually get into that episode. I feel like I've taken up too much of your time already. So let's go. Alright, let's start with what I've done in here. If you look in the Discord, in that sat chat like link to the Google Drive, and you look at Clearhaven, the Google sheet that is named Clearhaven, that's the name of the city, you will see that I've changed this up. So we will now be processing mostly iron in here. So this setup is meant to be able to take 2,280 iron ore. There's like 2 full towers, with each layer taking 360 for this, and then a single line down here. And the point of that is essentially to make sure that we have enough iron for literally everything else we're doing in here. Then we have a tower of copper that's gonna be able to take 1,080 copper. And then let's move over. All the Caterium we need to process is over here. This is going to be able to process 270 exactly and make 15 per machine. So there are 6 machines here. So that's going to be 90 Caterium ingots per minute. There's holes here for me putting in the power here, yeah. And then we have the steel up top here. And this is, let's see, that's 8 times 60, which is 8 times 60. It's way too early in the morning. It's 480 steel ingots will be produced per minute, which is all of the ingot production we have in the city. I'm not going to put any concrete, quartz, or anything like that. Instead, I'm going to make separate buildings for that out here. So they're going to have their own facilities around in the city that is like split up into different parts. Actually, let's talk about what those buildings are. Here we go. So this is the document that I'm using. This is how everything will look. So these are the planned buildings in Clearhaven. The ore processing is like this entire. This is just this middle building, right? Or almost. The mycelia and alien protein will not be processed here. The limestone will not be processed here. The quartz, SAM will not be processed here, and neither will the sulfur. And most of the coal ore will not be processed here. Okay, most of the coal ore is also going to the coal power plant, so we don't need all of it for the processing. So there's a little bit of that, but essentially these are the buildings that we're planning in Clearhaven and what they will contain. So we're gonna have the HQ, which is going to be housing the hub. So that's going to be like a balcony type deal that has the hub, since it needs to be able to send its dropship. The awesome shop, the MAM, and the space elevator. I'm also thinking I should put the equipment workshop and workplace. Like, it's gonna be part of the decoration pretty much, but it's going to be there. And I'm gonna have a coal power plant. Essentially, the coal power plant that we have built over here. I can fly towards. While I'm talking. The coal power plant we have over here is a temporary setup. You will see in my saves that any time I'm using the fix-it foundations, only the fix-it foundations, to place something down, that is a mark of temporary buildings. So as you can see, all of this is temporary. Yes, it works. Yes, it gives me 2,400, but I want to have that up to 4,800, and I won't lose out on the chance to building that as a part of the city, which means I'm going to take all the coal and the water I need and everything, I'm gonna pump it up, and I'm probably going to make it out here instead, hovering above this iron over here is probably where I'm gonna have it instead, and have a smokestacks pointing out everywhere, being really, really cool kind of building that actually attaches to the city instead, because I want that. I think it looks really, really cool, and I think it would be really cool with the long pipeline with water and coal and stuff, with a long super industrial looking bus, like a super pipeline. So yeah, that's basically want to do that. I also want 60 biomass burners as a backup. Right now, you can see on our starter facility, if you watch episode 1, you know about this. This is 45 biomass burners that are providing 1,350 megawatt capacity. They're not being used right now because we are not using enough to take up that space, which is the point. This is supposed to be a backup. Essentially, this isn't supposed to be used. So when it is used, that is a mark for me to, hey, dude, you need to go and build up more power. You need more power production. But it means I also have a lot more time. And combining that later down the line with batteries, so I have batteries and this setup, it means I will have a lot of backup that will help me push the limit, so that I can push and finish that extra little factory or that extra little city, or connect up that extra little thing, and then expand on power, which will be really useful, especially when we're working with are gonna work on our first fuel factories and fuel burners and stuff like that. So it's really, really good. And I also like the industrial look of it, the field of biomass burners looks really cool to me. So I kind of want to work with that. But yeah, let's move on. We have... I've been talking and showing in-game footage. Or I'm behaving as if there are in-game footage. There is no in-game footage here, it's just... Okay, sorry, I apologize. I have the game in front of me, and on my second screen that I am recording, I have the spreadsheet. So I apologize. My bad. Okay, moving on. The recycling plant is going to have 7 sinks for all production overflow, plus 1 extra. That 1 extra is to be able to sync alien DNA and for manual input into the sink. So basically, 7 of them will be working automatically. I don't have to touch it, it just does itself. And this is going to also be taking care of the alien DNA by itself, but this will also have a extra manual input into, okay, here you can just put stuff you find out in the world that I don't need, or I can empty my inventory of stuff that I don't need anymore, stuff like that. That's the extra here. But then I have the iron casting here, which will take care of the iron plates, iron rods, screws, and steel pipes. That's stuff that will take iron from this facility and steel from this facility, or not steel actually, we'll be using the alternate recipe iron pipes. You can see up here which alternate recipe I'm going to be using. So I'll be using the iron pipe alternate recipe, meaning I'm using iron to make the steel pipes. I will have a mineral purification facility that makes concrete, silicon, quartz crystals. And I have a temporary setup, just like with the coal power plant, I have a temporary setup out here, right now, that I will tear down and instead, like, transport with trucks. They're gonna go, like, here, and then up a long-ass ramp that I'm making up this slope. That will then pull in to, like, a quartz facility, like, out here, or something like that. We'll see where I build it, we'll see. But essentially, we want to have the mineral purification and the concrete. I might actually do that because of how much of the limestone that we need is out here. I might actually move the quartz so that it like drops stuff off here, but it's moved by a conveyor bus or a different truck or something out to over like here, where I'm showing on the map again. I'm dumb. Essentially. There is a location on the map where I want to build it that is a lot more advantageous for where everything is, so I move the limestone a shorter distance to make concrete. But yeah, then we have the copper casting. That is going to be wire, cable, and copper sheets. Steel casting makes steel beams and encased industrial beams. And remember, these make, like, steel beams use the molded beams, which... The recipe for molded beam, which is a, let's see, I'm gonna bring it up so I can say it correctly. No, that's in case. There, steel beam. The molded beam uses concrete and steel ingots to make a lot more steel beam. It's about 30% more effective in terms of steel ingot usage. So it's a really, really big upgrade in terms of steel beam production. And you need a lot of steel beams later down the line. So I really, really like this. Then we have the R&D, research and development, which has reanimated SAM production. And it's gonna have power shards. It's gonna make alien DNA and alien protein. So I will split off a little bit of alien protein because we're gonna need that for tactical manufacturing, where we make gas filters. Like if we move down here immediately. Like this is going to be more of like a whoa kind of thing. I'm also thinking if I have enough summer sloops to like capstone this R&D facility with a alien power augmenter. And then tactical manufacturing will have Nobilis, gas filter, and I might have other equipment automated here. If I have the extra resources, I will put in so that the base stuff that I am using, such as like the parachute, the what's it called, the blade runners, like the stuff that if I die I lose, and I can just equip myself up. I go to R&D, pick up some new equipment, and then I can head out from the hub. That's essentially what I'm thinking with like that other equipment thing, but it's only if I have the extra resources left over from the rest of the stuff. But then we have intermediary manufacturing, which is like, these are parts going in other parts. Reinforced iron plates and modular frames fit perfectly in this. And then I'm gonna have mechanical engineering facility, which is rotors, stators, and motors. That's their only like function in this city. And then I'm gonna have computer labs, which makes like computer stuff. So it's quick wire, AI limiters, and crystal oscillators. We really need crystal oscillators to use the big signs. The large billboard and the small billboards uses crystal oscillators. Like the large billboard uses 5 crystal oscillators per billboard. Now, it is huge, but look at it like this. I won't be able to finish the central processing towers, like decorations or anything, before I have crystal oscillator production, because it's too expensive. And then we have the interstellar manufactory, which makes the, what's it called? The space elevator parts. Though, like, big, like, city, we're gonna have a lot of stuff here. In total, we are going to have a output in this city that has, let's see, how many is that? 2, like, that's 3, 2, 28. That's 25 different parts and items and stuff that we have as an output from this city itself. And some of this stuff, like the silica and some of the quartz crystals for like later down the line, and especially the reanimated SAM, which I will technically be making 120 out of, but I will use the summer sloop boost to get it to 240 output instead. Because it only uses 4 constructors, I can spare 4 summer sloops for that and get a lot more SAM for later down the line. I have a feeling we're gonna need it. So the idea here is to basically set myself up with all the stuff I might need for like building buildables, essentially, and plugging that into a bunch of what's it called, dimensional depots. So I always have this full. So this is like basically going to be constantly filled up with all the stuff I might need for building without having to wait for it constantly. So like if you look at like the concrete output, where are you? Down here. Concrete's gonna be 240. So I want to make sure that I have the dimensional depot upload speed of 240. So one of the reasons why we're going on the collection stream on Sunday is that I have enough summer sloops to build all those dimensional depots, but it is also, if we move over to the, what's it called? Oh, why am I doing that? I can just put down a MAM here. If I move over to MAM, you can see this, but basically, if we look at the alien technology, you will be able to see that I need, what is that, 20, 30, I'm gonna need 43, I'm gonna need 46, no, 86 Mercer spheres, and then a crap load of fluctuators to unlock everything in the dimensional depot upgrades. But when I do, I will have an upload speed of 240 per minute and a depot expansion of 500%, which means that we will be able to have 5 stacks of everything in the dimensional depot. So I'm really gunning for that, because it means that I can work a lot more dynamically without having to constantly go back and fill up, and I don't have to build some, like, I'm saying convoluted, but I really love them, like remote storage with drones or trains or anything like that. So basically, this is like something that I'm really gunning for, which is why I'm gonna do that big collection stream, because my goal is to be able to finish all the upgrades in the dimensional depot tree. So yeah, essentially that's it. Sorry, I'm probably gonna cut out a lot of the stuff that I've talked about in here, so that I can cut this episode down a little bit. I need to hurry up with this episode actually, because I am late. I overslept today, and the episode needs to go live today, and I need to stream today, and that is in 2 hours. So I'm in a rush. So let's move on. Okay, so we're back in the game now, and as you can see, I've put out a bunch of miners all over the place. Essentially, what we will be doing is using trucks, or tractors in this case, to pull in as much of the resources as we need around the world. So I'm just basically showing you guys what it looks like, and I'm gonna show you quickly how to set up the tractor. And basically, it's very simple. So when you have a truck station and a tractor, and you are using said truck station and a tractor, and you want to set it up, I'm gonna just drive around the circle here. I'm gonna grab a bit of coal so that I can show how it works. Here we go. And in the back of your tractor, you have a crafting bench. If you open that up, this is only if you don't put it at the truck station with fuel in, because then it's gonna fuel itself automatically. But essentially you do this. Now you have fuel in it. Then you aim so you can drive the tractor. Normal WASD key controls, and different vehicles behave in different ways, but generally they're quite wonky, and especially the tractors are quite floaty, and as you can see they're quite top heavy, so they have a tendency to flip if you're not careful. But what we want to do is set up autopilot. So how we do that is, if I start here, right, and I go enable autopilot, that doesn't work. I need to record a path first. So I'm going to start recording. Then I can quit this and drive over to the station. This is where I'm gonna go. And I press F. Now this is not powered, so it's not gonna do anything. But I press F. I wait for 15-20 seconds. There's gonna be a bar in the bottom right corner that shows exactly how it works. And then you can keep driving. You do drive, and then you drive to the place where you wanted to pick up resources. In this case, because that's the offload point. And then you drive to the place you wanted to pick up resources. There should be a truck station there set up, and make sure that it is set to load, not unload, in the UI. And then you basically stop at that truck station, you go there, same thing, press F, and then wait for the load to finish. It's gonna take 15-20 seconds, and then you keep driving. And as you drive, I'm just gonna do this as well. So I'm gonna make a really, really bad turn here. So this is gonna be in the way, right? And then I go back. You can see there's a finish line here. When I cross that finish line, boom. Now the line is finished. Before I can start this going around by itself, I'm gonna go in and I can adjust here. I can say, no, I want you to be here for 25 seconds to guarantee that you finish the load and unload. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check all the arrows here to make sure that they are not in a weird spot. I'm gonna go, hey, yep, nope, this looks good. There's nothing, no obstacles or anything like that. I'm gonna check, and there was the second station. Imagine there's a truck station over here. Okay, that's too short, so I need to put that as, okay, you also wait here for 25 seconds. And then I look, okay, you did a really bad turn here, I had to get around the object that is not here anymore. I can go in and I can delete this node, and delete this node, which means that now it's going to drive between that node and this node instead, and removing that weird turn. Keep going, and I go back here. Now the stuff is set up, I can go in and press X, so I hide the path now, because it is set up. And then I can go enable autopilot and exit, and now it is going to do its own thing. So now it's going to go over here, it's going to wait for 25 seconds, then it's going to go around to the other point, wait there for 25 seconds, and do the load, and make sure, like I said, go in here, it's not supposed to load, here it's supposed to unload, right? So just make sure that you set that in these before you use them, right? So with that said, I am going to start setting up the iron, and we can look at what it looks like when I'm done. It's going to be a lot of grindy work for me, so I'm not going to put that on camera. I'm going to want to put on music, I want to put on a couple of podcasts, and watch some Satisfactory on YouTube, But I'll be back the second I'm done. We're recording again, and as you can see, over here, we have set up trucks. They are doing their thing. They're driving around. If you look on the map too, we can see all the trucks driving around, doing a lot of cool stuff. Alright? So we have one coal truck over here. It's basically picking up a bunch of coal and driving that back and dropping it off at this station. And then I am distributing that to all the other stations around the middle here in Clearhaven, so that it can fuel all of the tractors, essentially. It barely uses any coal. So I'm also going to be using that same coal node, that same thing, later, because we need to pull in coal to make the steel. And we only have 2 coal nodes available in this biome, which is, let's see, one over there that I'm using for the steel setup over here. And then I have one over there, which is where I'm pulling in for the truck. But yeah, basically the iron is coming in now. So as you can see over here, they are doing their thing. This is filled with iron, filled with iron, filled with iron, filled with iron, and then over here you have yet another filled with iron, and this is the coal intake. So essentially we have all the stuff we need. And yeah, so they're gonna just sit there for 25 seconds because I've told them, right? And then they're gonna go off to an adventure. This one, the reason why it's over here is because that iron node or that iron collection is over here. And I've basically overclocked everything here. So if they're impure nodes, I take in 300 per minute total from these two. They go in here, fill up as much as they can. And same thing over here, though, I have pulled them directly into the facility instead. As you can see, because they are so close, it feels completely stupid to like make the convoluted like road down here specifically, or drive, because I would have to basically get them to, like I was saying, I would have to drive them down here and then pick up, and I would need 3 truck stops because it's 270 per minute. I would basically need 3 truck stops over here, and then drive the, like it would have to go back, or those 3 trucks needs to go back and then up. I'm gonna do the same thing when I'm pulling in the limestone. As I talked about before, I want to put the like limestone stuff, the that processing. I want to have a facility over here that handles the mineral purification. So I want to have the quartz probably be dropped off around here, somewhere around here, and then it's gonna be bussed over, or something like that, something to that effect. Or I'm gonna drop it off over here maybe, and then like make a bus that is like connected up with the road in some way. We'll see. I haven't done that yet. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I just know I want to put in some nice like movement and life that isn't just tractors. But as you can see, now with the Lumen reloaded the way it should be, this place looks amazing. It is absolutely gorgeous. When it reloads the light rendering in here, it is completely stunning, and I love the way it looks. I'm so in love with the interiors here, and if you want these, they are part of the blueprints that are in the Google folder, in the blueprints folder, in the Google Drive folder. So if you want these blueprints, if you want these like templates, you can also go get those. They're also in there. Like all the blueprints I have, every single one is in that, including the roads that I've been using. And basically, if you know how to use roads, go for it. If you want, like if you have trouble with it, tell me down in the comments and I will make a video, like just a short, like 3-4 minute video that shows how to use my road blueprints. Otherwise, I'm in the Discord and you can ask me. So, yeah, basically we have our iron coming in. We need to keep going because we have a lot more to do. We need to get going and bring in all our copper. Okay, so we're here. Copper is being brought in, and this is only like normal nodes, so we only need 4 because that is 1080 exactly. So we have 4 times 280 or 270, that's 2000 or 1080. which we will then be processing in this specific tower. I don't know why it's constantly... It feels like it's always dark when I'm recording. I mean, I don't mind because, like, this looks sick. But essentially, it's bad for my for the video itself. But yeah, like, we have our copper coming in. Just like the iron, if we look on the map now, there you can tell that there is a lot of trucks. They're going round, spinning round. How's the song? Spinning right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby. Yeah. And then we have our trucks over here. They're doing their thing. Like, they're bringing in iron from over here. You have copper over here. Then we have this. And I had to make like a little bit of a manual thing here to just get them around. So yeah, I'm probably gonna work on making this a little bit visually better. Then I bring this down, and I had to brick this up to make sure that it made sense for the, like, so that otherwise the truck kept driving like straight off the edge here. So this is how I made it work. I'm gonna do something with this later as well. I kind of want to make that look good. And yeah, it's bringing in this copper node. But then I have this long ass ramp over here that goes all the way down. Ooh, there's a slug. I need to go collect that later. And then I go all the way down here. And I have a ramp here. I'm gonna have another truck that goes up there and collects the quartz that is currently being processed over at the temporary facility out over here. So I basically want to have that being like the quartz being driven up here as well. But yeah, I have two. Oh, I haven't connected up the belts here. Oh crap! It really helps to collect the ore if I actually collect the ore. So yeah, basically that means I get all the copper I need. But we still have two more resources that needs to be pulled in for the central processing to work, which is the caterium and the coal. So let's work on that. Said and done. As you can see, caterium is being brought in there. That's 270 per minute. That is being trucked over to this station. I'm also bringing in coal over here. So we have, boom, caterium being brought in. And then we have, boom, coal. There's also caterium here. Why is there caterium here? I don't, what? This is doing me confused, because that is not good. They might be too close. So that sometimes when they mess with each other, like, it stops wrong and it stops here and unloads instead. That's not good. I'm gonna have to fix that. That's a good catch. That's a really good catch. This is why you double check everything. And yeah, if we then look, I'm gonna turn this off. It's actually day now, which is like, wow! For once in this episode, we have day! Woo! And if we look in here, you can see that I have started pulling stuff in here, essentially. And if we go down and check, I have started setting up a bunch of, like, the load balancing over here. This is like, this is very organic. I haven't planned anything out. I have essentially just went like, copper needs to go in. I need to split that up evenly. And I need to use like smart splitters to make sure that overflow travels on. So I have basically gone, so this is the first intake to the processing. So I've basically gone like, okay, that's number one. Then it needs to overflow. It overflows into this, and this overflows into this, and this overflows into the second line that overflows here, and then that overflows, because that takes in more copper, so that merges with that, but then that overflows over here, and that takes a line, but that overflows. So I need to set an overflow for that. That needs to go into this, and that overflows out here and merges with that, and that needs to have its input that's coming also over from there. And then I need to basically overflow that into this. And that needs to also take the last line that overflows the remainder, which might be all of it. Or it should be all of it, but we don't know until we try. So I'm going to take that and pull in here. And the way that I'm going to ultimately test this, I don't have time to do that in this episode. It's going to be the start of the next one. But the way that I test this is essentially by placing down a sink like this, and overflowing into the sink. And if I get any overflow, it means I have enough resources to saturate all the machines. Does that make sense? So I have one here, and then I'm going to overflow for all of the output. So every single output I get from the coal, which is going to be 1080 ingots per minute, basically need to test all of the output and sync that as well to make sure that it constantly flows, and see that when everything is up and running and it's all saturated and it's running, I'm either getting perfect full belt for the last one to merge here, or like this one is going to go back to the first. This is going to match up with the first one again. So this one is going to connect with this one as an overflow, so that I have a circle that goes around and saturates belt by belt by belt. But essentially, what it should happen is I have a perfectly full belt, but that I get no overflow into the sink. If I get the overflow into the sink, that's good. If I have a full belt here, that's good. If I have a not full belt here, something's wrong, I need to fix it. Essentially, this part is where I'm going to be able to troubleshoot. That's essentially how I put it up, but I built it very organically. It's not structured in any way. I basically sat down and did this off the top of my head. And like, I have a brain for this, so if you need help with this kind of stuff, ask, and I will see what I can do to help you figure it out. Otherwise, I recommend using the blueprints that I made. I have a vertical belt balancer or belt priority system. This is the same kind of system. Use this for vertical systems that will move stuff down. So when you send something into this, it will continue forwards. If you look at the settings, it's going to prioritize continuing forward. And then when it hits here, the second belt that you plug in, it will you first prioritize going down and merging, so you get a full belt on the bottom. And then if it has anything left, it's going to send that forwards. And same thing here, if this belt, like if this part backs up because of that merging, it will take any remainder and put back up here. So then you can just take that and continue plugging belts in ad nauseum to just continue using this system. And then I made this quite big so that people can clearly see what is happening in it. But essentially, this is the same system, but horizontal instead. So you can probably slim this down a lot. Like if you take these and put on the outside here instead, and stuff like that, to really, really slim down the space it takes on a horizontal level. But essentially, this does the same thing. It goes any forwards and overflows to the side. This goes overflow, so it first prioritizes to the left, and then sends the remainder forwards. Same thing like the overflow from that, because of this merge, if they fill up, they're gonna send on a merge on here, so that continues forward. And then you can hook up this into the same system again, like so. So you'd basically do this and continue and build that like on a diagonal up until you have run out of belts. And basically that's the simplest way to like use that if you want to. If you want help understanding how to make these in general, not just copy a blueprint and actually understand these systems, tell me and I will make a video on it. I'm not trying to gatekeep this, I'm not trying to keep it secret or anything. Essentially, because I need such a custom system because of the space that I'm using, I haven't made a general system. I've made a very specialized system for the space that I'm using, because I also need to fit the outputs, I need to fit the iron, I need to have enough space to send all of these outputs down into the logistics tunnels for all of my roads. So yeah, I have very special needs for this because of the needs in Clearhaven and how it's planned. And because it's a city, not a factory, it's going to have multiple factories in the city that uses the central processing resources. I've made it very difficult for myself. But yeah, if you want to have more insight and better understanding of how this works, tell me down in the comments. Essentially, that's what I've done so far. I've also made sure to hook in these smart splitters. It overflows into the refueling system where I have 2 massive buffers on each side for the tractors. But the priority is to send it into this belt, which is the belt that's gonna go down here to the steel processing, which is I don't think I've put those floor holes in yet. Oh wait, I have. It's these. So yeah, basically, and then I think these are for the K-Ethereum. I don't really know. I need to focus on one system at a time, and this is the copper. And then I'm gonna do the iron because the iron is the biggest, because it's these 3 are inputs, and then I need these 3 are also inputs. So I need to hook all of this in a way that works. So yeah, that's gonna be the biggest system. It's gonna take up like literally half the space here. It's just gonna be iron, but I'm basically trying to make sure that it works, that I don't have to come down here and like continue looking at stuff and making it work again and again and again. However, that's going to be for a different, or for the next episode, because I overslept. I shouldn't even be recording right now. I should be preparing for a stream. Like, I haven't cooked any lunch, no nothing. I messed up. I slept too long. I was out celebrating birthday yesterday. Like, I don't drink alcohol, but we were out until like almost 2, and I'm over 30, which means that is essentially like the equivalent of a teenager not sleeping for a week. So that's essentially how I was feeling last night. And I slept until like 11, and if I remember correctly, I gotta double check in the stream or in the Discord because I've made a mistake before. Yeah, we go live today at 4. This episode is supposed to go live at 3. So I am basically late because it's 12:30 and I need to edit this, and it's gonna be bad edit. I don't have time to do the nitty-gritty small edits that I normally do, so I apologize if the sound is a little bit worse. I apologize if the edits are a little bit wonky and less edited, and there's more like empty space and silence or weird mistakes in there. That's because I haven't had time to go through. Normally I do a rough cut, then I do a more fine cut where I cut out empty space and repetitions and stuff like that, and then I do a edit where I put in like if there needs to be some extra text, or if there needs to be like sound effects or stuff like that, and then I do a final sound edit where I double check and sound balance everything. The most important parts of this is going to be the rough edit and the sound edit. The sound edit is kind of quick, but the rough edit is what takes the most time, and I really want to get that done so that I can put up this episode. But yeah, if you want to see me go and die 5,000 times while I am hunting for summer sloops, mercer spheres, and power slugs, come join in the stream. This episode goes live at 3, I go live at 4, and I'm gonna try and keep the episode shorter than an hour so that you can just skip straight over to the stream and continue enjoying my voice as much as you can. I don't know if you enjoy my voice. I can talk like we can go full ASMR and go here, hey, I know you are a lovely, lovely person, and you can take care of yourself. You are worthy of love. We are an ASMR podcast now. Hello, hello. Have a very nice day. But no, if you like the video, if you enjoy this content, if you want to see how big this thing is gonna go and how the facilities turn out and everything, then head on over. Oh yeah, sorry. Final thing. Then head on over, like, subscribe, leave comments. Head on over to the Discord so you get like a notification in the Discord for when my episodes go live or when I go live. And yeah, I marked out the moth flies through this tower. So I'm gonna have to put something in here that is like a an observation deck, like a visual element that incorporates the moth as part of the decoration. So this is going to be more of a decorative floor. I'm going to see if I can put like statues and stuff up here and like make this like super artistic and have like almost like a museum here. And then the moth is going to fly through here. I'm going to put like glass, almost like a curved thing, I think, that the moth can fly through, and you can always see the moth if you're on this floor. And at the same time, you can have like an observation deck and see out over the city. And then we're gonna go up a little bit, and then we're gonna have all the train stations and stuff like that going up. And yeah, so really looking forward to putting that in. We are gonna have so much fun with the city. I love it, and I don't expect to be done with the city, this first city, until episode, I would say 10. Yeah, I would say episode 10, because I'm pretty much going to make each facility. Some of them are going to be like in the same episode. Like the iron casting, mineral purification, and copper casting is probably going to be in the same episode. But I'm going to have the coal power plant, the recycling plant. Yeah, some of this is going to very much be in their own episodes. But I don't expect to be done with Clearhaven until episode 10 to 12, something like that. So if you really enjoy city building in Satisfactory, then this is definitely the series for you, because this is the only thing we'll be doing. And I can't wait to reveal what's the style of the second city. This is going to be the white gold tower. Second city, we're going to have real fun with. So let's see you guys in the stream. Love you guys. Bye.